Okay, now I am also able. Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
So, guys, today what I'm going to show you guys, like the connection with Bamboo, with our source control, as well as Salesforce, right? So, complete CI/CD I'm going to demonstrate. So, if you guys have any doubts, then please note it down, and then we'll discuss by the end of the session, right? So now, uh, as I discussed yesterday, so today I'll create one new project from the scratch so that I can show you. Like, yeah, SIBC training and project description. Let it be CRM. Here I can give the project access for all user. I can create the project and I have to create a plan because in one project I can create a number of plans. So here would be the training plan. Yeah, yeah, yeah. CICD training. CICD training. Right. So this is my plan and description. I can add a Salesforce development here, and I can give the access to all users because I have admin permission, so I can give that. So here I will add new repository now again, right? GitHub, Git, right? So here I should give a name. So Bitbucket, Bitbucket branch, Bitbucket branch. Now I can give the URL. Let me just copy from here. So in the source, I can access any branch, and authentication type I can select username and password. And username I have to put username. Here I need to put password, and here I can give the name of branch. So suppose let me check out from dev branch. Let me check test connection. So now connection successful. So this is the complete process which I have connected with the version control to Bamboo. So let me just click on configure plan. Here I provided the access to all users. So now I can check here whenever I create this connection. So one task is automatic created, which is known as source code checkout. So it will fetch the complete source code from the checkout branch and whatever the mentioned branch. Like it has currently I checked from dev, so it is fetched complete code from the dev. And first we can see run is disabled, so it means we have to enable that plan so that we can run, right? So now here I can click on run, and I when I click run, so what it'll do, there is only one task. This task is what we are going to do. In that task we are going to fetch the complete code from the code repository to Bamboo, right? It is fetching now. Still it is running, and it is manual run by me. We can see here because we didn't automate this. Now after that I'll show you how we can automate this process. Okay, it is failed. Let me check what is the reason. Here we can see the fail to prepare the build SFDC training, CICD training, default job, SECT job 111. Let me just check. Okay, first let me just delete the all variable because these global variable can. I will explain about these variable later because SFDC training, and here I can execute that plan again. We can see it is running now. It is taking a little bit time because there are bulk data we have kept over there. Again, it's failed to a second time. Let me just check. SFDC training, CICD training, default job 2, and where is the log? Yes, here we can see we need to learn how we can read the logs, right? So here is the build directory, bamboo home XML build directory SC job 1, right? Started. Let me just check and check out updating reference. Source code trying to recover. Let me just go there. Salesforce only CT job, right? Yeah. Here we like not able to check out, right? We just go in the dev branch. Yeah. Here, this code I want to fetch. Let me just go there. What is the issue? So that we can click on action. We can configure plan again. Okay. Just go to the default job. Source code checkout. In that source code checkout, what we are doing, we are fetching the code from Bitbucket branch, and right. Let me just save this task. Run. Because I think naming convention it's the cause, but you do like we are not able to create the industry limit. Okay, so without wasting time, we can go into the another or the previous project. So like the same in the training, right? In the training where which I have created, let me just go to the configure plan. Yeah. So there is two tasks which I have created over here, and source code checkout. So source code checkout is a default one. Let me just remove that, delete that task. Yeah, that is a source code checkout. Let me just execute this one again if it is running successfully so that we can compare that one also. Yes, now this task is executed successfully. So we can go into the log. So what we did in that task, we just pulled the complete code which is available in the our repository, right? So we fetched only this one, this task, right? In that this task, right? So let me just go into the that directory so that we can check what code we fetched. PC home the XML data, build directory, and this, yeah, here. So here I have fetched all these files, right? So it means current, I have fetched all those files. So first, whenever I commit all those files, whatever I want, all those files would be in SRC. Except SRC, what do I need to commit so that I can establish the connection with Bamboo and Ant? So I need to create one more folder, right, in my repository lib. Over here, I need to copy paste this jar file, that is ant salesforce.jar file. So how we do, like, or from where we can fetch this file? It's like where in our repository when we install the ant. So yeah, here once we click on that, so this is the ant.salesforce.jar file. So we need to just copy that file, and our build file as well. Let me just go here in the source tree where I have committed all this, right? The source file, with the source file I'll create one folder with the name of lib. In that lib I need to paste this jar file, and I need to create that build file as well, right? So build file is the similar file which we created for the ant. So here we created some tasks and right, so that, yeah. So this is the build file that we can create. So now this is the process which I have fetched from source control to Bamboo. So now I want to automate this process so that whenever I will change anything, yeah, I will commit anything in the source repository, so that it will fetch all the code automatically. So for that purpose, I can create a trigger. So here we can see the default task, and default trigger is already there, repository polling. So we can go there. What is that? But nothing is there, right? So we can create, or we can modify this one as well. So instead of that, let me just create one, add a trigger. So here are four options. Remote trigger. One is like repository triggered the bill when changes are committed. Like one is this, like whenever we commit any change in our repository, so it will fetch the all changes, and fetch all the changes from source repository to build to the Bamboo, and can trigger the task. And next is we can poll, like Bamboo poll source repository and build when the new changes are found, right? And we can schedule, like if we want, we can schedule 1 hour basis, or if we want in weekly basis. So on weekly basis, on the schedule time, it can check, like if the changes is there, so it can fetch all the changes and deploy to a target one. And here we can select the runs one a day only, like single build daily basis. So here I am selecting the remote trigger. So in the remote trigger, what I am doing, I am fetching the changes whenever I do any changes over there. So only from web, that I am giving the name, and here I can give the IP address, because if IP restriction is there, so I can just click on the save. So now let me just check my trigger is working successfully or not, right? So let me just do or commit changes in my web branch. So how I can do commit my web branch? I need to go into the source tree. Here I'm in the source tree. I can go to the Explorer, right? Here I can commit any changes in the source. So what change I should do? Let me just open one class. And in one of the class, let me add some comment. This is a change password controller. So here I will add with the comment test comment. Right. So these are the comment I have added. Let me just save all those changes. Yep. I have saved these changes, and I can close now. So that, and it is the first class change password controller, right? Let me just close this one. So it will reflect in my source tree. Let me just commit those one. So now I can test by trigger triggers. Okay. Let me just commit these changes. So it will commit to my Bitbucket repository. In which branch? Dev branch. Right? You can see here in Dev branch these changes. You can see in our Dev branch. Let me just click on source. Go to the Dev branch. Let me just go into the source, into the classes, change password controller. So we can see here our changes as comment, whatever I did. Let me just scroll some. Right, so these changes is there. Right, so now the changes which I have done. So these changes is fetched by my trigger or not. So how I can check? So let me just go into the repository of the bamboo, fetched by bamboo. Let me just go there. Uh, to the bamboo home, XML data, will directory. Oh, 10 st job, right? Which directory we have? Training st. Okay, yeah, training st job one. That we are in source. So we can come here in class. We can open this class. We can check here. Now the changes is not there, right? So let me just check how uh, like what is would be the time interval for executing that trigger. Let me just click over here. Mm-hmm. Ah, yes. Here it is one check. Is checkbox. Which repository should trigger apply? Trigger apply only run build if plan is currently passing. Okay. Instead of that, let me just add one other one. This one repository polling. Let me just select repository polling. Okay. Instead of that trigger, let me create the repository polling trigger so that yeah, because here we can give the time difference. Yeah. Let me just add trigger repository polling from repo. Yeah. Here it is periodically. Then how periodically it is? Let me enter 10 seconds. After 10 seconds of changes, it will fetch all the changes, right? Polling a Bitbucket repository. Let me just see. So we just do one more changes. Hmm. Open in Explorer. Searching by classes in the same class. Let me add one more comment. Hmm. Let me just commit this one as well. Yes, commit. So now when I push from here, it will reflect in Bitbucket directly. So this time I'm not going to check in the Bitbucket. Now I will check directly in the Bamboo, because 10 seconds is a very less time, so it will reflect over there as well. And if you want to check, so we can check over here also, because it is open. You can see here the changes, right? You can see here the test comment and all, right? So let me just go into the Bamboo directory, build directory, training as to job one, the source, where it is a class, and let me just open. Yes, here we can see the previous comment as well as new comment, both are here. So like, with the help of trigger, I can automate the task whichever I have created in Bamboo, right? So this is the first task which I have created for the fetching the code from version control, right? So this is the first task. So now, as I already discussed in my previous session, like this is the one which we do manually to commit the code in the directly. Now the second one, which is the deployment. So now we what we do, we just fetch the code from the repository and deploy into the Salesforce app, right? So for that purpose, what we need to do, we need to create first the task so that we can deploy. As I already discussed, like which tool we use for deployment, and so here we need to create a task and task. So let me just create that task. Yeah, here we can see and. So we can select and. So here we can give the name deployment changes, right? Here we can see the executable and one is already there, right? So instead of that, let me just create one for you so that you guys can understand how we can create this, right? Here we can give the deploy, right? This is the task, and here we need to give the path of the end, right? So where the end is set up, right? So and home path, which I have shown initially when we once we create the once we created the once we installed the ant in our system and we created an ant home variable, right? Environment variable. So that path we need to set over here, right? So we can see here we have number of executable, right? So now I have select deploy by. Now here we need to select the build file. So where the build file is located, we need to go and let me explain where from where it is fetching. In the Bamboo, you can go there, build home, XML data, shift. What we do, okay, that, yes. So now this is the build directory, right? So if I came here, so here I can see the trans st2. Here I can see the build is available. So for that plan, train st job one. This is my build directory. In that build directory, I can see the build file directly over here, so that I can give the build.xml directly path, right? Build.xml, right? So now here I have to give the target. What target I need to give? Let me just open in my build. There are number of target available. Let me open that. So I can see there are number of target. like the deploy and all, right? So let me just select one target. Which one is, like I can see one target, the get code means like the retrieve code, right? And another one is like deploy code. So let me just select that deploy code, right? So this target value we need to put in that target, right? And with that, we need to pass some variables also, parameters, I can say. So let me open that one. Yeah. So let me explain this. Deploy code first is the target which we are going to use, and after that, D hyphen D that we use as a syntax so that we can easily identify. After that, it is written SFDC username. So like these are the variable which we are using from this target. Like let me open that deploy code as well. Right here, I can see in that target. Where is the deployed code? Yes, this one is the deploy code. Right, in the deploy code, we can see what are the variables. First is the username, SFDC username, password is SFDC password. So these are the parameter that we need to pass, right? And right, so we can go here, SFDC username, SFDC password, SFDC server URL, and SFDC test label. But we need to append hyphen D before that, right? And after that, we can see I am passing some value, dollar bamboo dot sf dot username. Like what is that? Like dollar bamboo. With the help of dollar bamboo, we can access the global variable of the bamboo. So for that, we need to create those variables into the bamboo. Let me just create first. Let me just copy paste uh, all those. I need to paste over here. So these are the target, and we are just passing all those as variables. Let me just remove check only true. Like some of the parameter are exception, but we need to pass authentication like the username, password, URL as mandatory, right? So here is the Java version, it will fetch automatically, and rest of the thing we can left as optionally, and we can remove this test file, click on the save. So now I have two tasks which I have created. One is the source code checkout, which I have shown like how we can do, and the another one is the end. And with the help of end, we are doing the connection with the Salesforce. For that, definitely, if we are connecting with Salesforce, so we need to have some credential with the Salesforce, and we need to have some kind of setup with that. So for that, we need to create some variables. Those variables known as global variables, right? So as I have already discussed, global variables name, right? Dollar bamboo. With the help of dollar bamboo, we use. After that, we can add sf for the naming convention, sf dot username. So let me just copy paste all those so it can be the fast. So I think it is uh, and the username punk2206 at the rate xyz. Okay, instead of xyz, I'll make this is my username, and same as password. Like I have used password, so it will automatically encrypt that, which I have added. And now just server URL and SF server URL, and what is that master that test label. HTTPS.
Pankaj,
Yes,
I think you have to pass a security token also in a password variable.
yes, yes. I was about to hearing that words I just want to hear these things, but I know if I am using the security token, then I have to use. But like I am using the developer edition and I have put it the IP ranges over there. So I have already created my org as global. So I don't need to use security token over here, right? So that's a very good question. And I was expecting this question from rest of the developer as well. But okay, good. You are focusing over here. Good. Salesforce.com. Right. As I think who asked this question? May I know in name?
Atar yaar.
Acha, oh, Atar. So Atar, I have passed the Salesforce password and Salesforce username, right? So
Yeah.
I have security token, so I need to create security token as well. I need to paste security token over here, right?
No, actually, in our cases, we are passing the security token. We are appending the security token with password, and we are adding this thing in password.
Okay. Why? Let me explain why you guys do the same thing. Because if you created one variable with the name of security token over here, so that you can use separately, right?
Yeah.
You didn't use as a security token variable over here, so you don't need to. You have to append with the password. So it considered password completely with security token. So why
Okay.
am I explaining this? Suppose if your security token is changed, suppose if you change your password, so you have to change your security token as well. So in that scenario, you have to change the complete this one. So I will suggest to use separate one,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And next is the test level. So I can set no test run, no test run, right? So I have added only these four variables. I'm not adding more than that, right? So now I can run my plan. Just need to go then plan training, right? In that training, we have created this one, right? Need to configure that. Need to go to the configure plan. Over here, we can see in the default job, and this default job we can trigger with the help of trigger. So I have created one task and source code checkout is default task created by the Bamboo. So now let me just run that one, and I can log in my Salesforce org. I can see the deployment status now. Let me just refresh. We have only two deployment record over here. So let me just deploy the code. Let me just refresh so that I can start that build from Bamboo. Yeah. So we can see we have only two deployment record over here, right? So let me just run that build. If this build is running successfully, then my deployment will happen in my Salesforce. Currently, I am deploying only rules. It is still running. Yeah, it's showing the log complete. and still pending. Let me just refresh this. Yeah, we can see here deployment is possible, deployment successful, right? Here the deployment is done, and we can check here. Yeah, my deployment is done successfully, right? So these two tasks I have created in that action. I can go to the configure plan. So suppose if I want to I don't want to deploy, if I want just validate this thing, so I can create one more variable uh, over here, check only, right, which I have removed. So if I create any variable, so I need to put that into my target so that I can add this one similarly like this. Let me just show you guys at the end. Check only. So is this check only value we need to pass as a true and false whatever we passed, and we can override our variables value at the time of running like this as well. Like suppose if I want to change the environment, like in this environment I don't want to deploy, I want to deploy in any other environment. So for that definitely we can create separate plan. But suppose I don't want to change the plan, I like whatever the thing, whatever the task I have created, and suppose I don't have access to create another plan, but I want to deploy in another environment with the same plan, so I can do by the same with the same as well. So let me just go here. So click on here, run customize. So here I can customize or override the variables value whichever I have created. Like I have created Salesforce username, right? So let me just go to the username. So let me just change the username over here, XYZ, and let me override one more password, right? Because I need to pass, right? So I have put it these two things. Sorry, now I am changing only. Oh, why it is changed? Mm, Maybe, right? Username was EMK2206 at the rate X. Need to change password again. XIE, right? So now, what I am doing now, I am keeping each and everything is same. I am just changing the credentials so that my deployment path will change now. I can run, and let me just log in into that environment also so that I can check login.salesforce.com. My build is running now. You can see we have updated these two custom variables, right? Let me just log in over here. Uh, if I select the sandbox, so I need to change the server URL as well, right? Because the sandbox, I have to use the URL test.salesforce.com. So we can see the deployment is running now. Still is pending. No information like it's still running. We can see 7% is done because it's maintaining or establishing the connection. This deployment is done. Done. Let me just log into that environment. So you guys have any questions, so you can ask. I think today's session, whatever we want to cover, we already covered. So this complete process is known as CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment.
Pankaj,
Yes.
hello. Yeah, my doubt is, can we means create new variables for which you have configured for Bamboo?
Can you please elaborate your doubt more? Because
For example, if I want to just set some variables such as only for such profile or kind of things, means the deployment should be done for this particular profile, or if the such checks kind of